What up? What up? Yo, can everybody hear?
Yo,
What's
yo,
going on out there? What up, Shelton?
what's happening? Hey, you can hear me, Ken?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay. Trying some new headphones today.
Oh, okay. I got you. Um, let's see. Just making sure. Yep. Oh yeah, y'all like the setup. Appreciate it. Two-man show in the studio. What up, Tracy? Beto, Marty, drink more water. King, King, I owe you. I owe you.
We got the regulars in here.
Mm, yep. Can y'all hear us? Everybody's good.
FIFO.
What up?
FIFO's mic is off.
Okay. Try one of the other one.
Yo.
Yeah, that was working. That was good.
All
Bet.
right. All right. There we go. Yeah, man. I saw you. You the mod now. Cool. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, we good to go then. Yeah. Let's see here. Q will be on in a second. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. This is the place where sports opinions collide. Data and sports. I'm your host Kenneth Beans. Joining me on the show, we have FIFO 24/7.
What it do?
Shelton J.
What's the word?
And Q will be on with us momentarily. You're now tuned into the best live sports talk show at night on YouTube. No filters, no agendas, man. Just as with most things that we do, we're fans of sports and we have these conversations anyway. So we want to have them with y'all in addition to ourselves. So that's what we're doing, man. As we get ready to kick things off, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button and let everybody know that we're live and leave a comment. If you're not a member, you can go become one by by going to youtube.com/dead sports and hitting the join button. And the producer that y'all funny. The producer that actually helps manage the call-in show wasn't able to join us tonight. So we're gonna have to put that off one more week. I apologize for that, but I don't know how to do it. And I don't want to be messing anything up. But y'all are hilarious here clowning about my calves.
What they say?
They said I never miss leg day. Talking about I'm flipping hay bales in Mississippi.
Hey man. Hey, look, it's a prerequisite. If you born from Mississippi, you born with legs like that.
Oh man, y'all funny, man. Y'all never stop. I was still laughing about them damn cookies on the way home. But
That shit was hilarious.
yeah, that shit was funny as hell. Oh man. So I'm judging by the comments that I'm seeing, not a lot is happening in the game.
Bruh.
So that's why we're definitely gonna talk a lot of basketball tonight as we get ready to head into the season.
Yes, sir.
Bro,
Um and
this is worse than last Thursday.
really?
That's not I'm not exaggerating. This is worse than last Thursday.
Well, I
It's
mean,
not it's
Justin Fields ain't all that yet.
what's
And we're
crazy
gonna
is
have
Justin. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Justin's he's not been that bad. He's made a couple red zone errors, but everything else is horrible. It's horrible. It's just not a good game.
damn. Yeah, Rob, no call-in show because I really don't want to mess things up. But I mean, maybe I could try it, man. I don't know. Maybe I could try it. We'll see. We'll see.
Nah, we need a test run, Cam,
We
before
need a test
we
run.
need a
Okay.
test run
All
with
right.
you running it.
All right. All
You
right.
gonna
All
hit
right.
that button and then four other buttons over there gonna mess up.
All right. Let me get to the comments. Make sure I'm tagging all these super chats here. Bam. Let me get that from Tracy. Cool. So
I was gonna ask you if you catching them, King, because I'm missing them.
yeah, no, I'm getting them here. Let's see where we at. You know, while we let me see where Q's at. It's not Q fault. I actually sent him the link late. I was a little late today. I've been running around a lot today. Oh yeah, he said he's on the way. Um, but a couple of basketball super chats here. Um, one about Ben and Tracy G asked, Brooklyn Ben will get says Brooklyn Ben will get the team to the Eastern Conference Finals. I saw someone else say that his
Ben who?
passing was it Skip. I probably saw Skip say on Twitter that his passing has. Well, I saw somebody say that Ben's passing has everybody happy on the team.
Well, I think you have to compare everything to the best, right? And the best in the NBA right now has been the Golden State Warriors. And when you watch how they play, their top two guys are the Splash Bros, and then their third best guy, up until now has been Draymond. What does Draymond do? That's a lot of what Ben Simmons does, but what Ben Simmons has over Draymond is height and athletic ability. I would say IQ, slight edge to Ben Simmons. Everything else, Ben Simmons is just a little bit better physically than what Draymond is. And then when you look at the skill sets of Kyrie, skill sets of Kevin Durant, this is an East somewhat version of that. And Ben Simmons is the key to making both of those other guys work cohesively because we know that Kyrie could pound the rock, but Kyrie pounds the rock to go get buckets. KD doesn't need the ball to get buckets. So now if you put a 6'10 guy out there controlling the flow, setting picks, getting rebounds, pushing the pace, controlling tempo of the game, and getting easy shots for those two guys and everybody else on the court, it looks good. But I do agree with what Kyrie said. Their level of physicality is something to be questioned. And I thought it was interesting that was coming from Kyrie when they got rid of DeAndre Jordan, when they got rid of Jarrett Allen, they got rid of all of the muscle that they had. All that being said, can Brooklyn go that far? Maybe. And that's the reason why I brought up the physicality. If Ben Simmons is the most physical dude you have, y'all not going
because
that
the
far.
Bucks are always physical.
Always physical.
Right.
Yeah.
And FIFA, I agree with most of what you said, but one thing I definitely don't agree with when you talk about IQ, with them, it reminds me of the new edition Stone. Can you stand the rain? And I just don't trust him. He's showing you what he's built of when it mattered the most. The regular season, the preseason, it's all well and good, but what are you going to do when it counts? And Ben was one of my favorite players, is one of my favorite players, still is. I still like him, but he has to prove that he's ready for the postseason, and he has not shown. All I can remember is the missed layup. I mean, they're not taking the layup, and that's the Ben I remember. And in saying that, I can't compare him to Draymond because Draymond doesn't shy away from big moments.
No, I give you that, Shelton, and obviously, if we're talking playoff basketball, Ben Simmons really hasn't shown anything just yet. But when we're talking about regular season and the basketball plays that are made, right? Like, in my opinion, Ben Simmons is one of the top three passers in the NBA that takes a very high level IQ to see the plays before they happen. You know what I'm saying? I think he's even better than Draymond when it comes to that. Now, if we're talking overall IQ, the one thing that I could give Draymond over Ben is shooting the damn open shot. Even
Right.
like Draymond doesn't make them, but Draymond's like, well, shit, I gotta take this one, or I gotta at least, if I'm not gonna take the shot, then I gotta go attack the lane, right? I think that's the one thing that Draymond has figured out that Ben, for whatever reason, still struggles with. So we'll see. We'll see how he progresses throughout the year. I think this last game he almost had a triple double. He only took 5 shots, missed 4 free throws. For them to be successful, Ben doesn't have to score. You know what I'm saying?
In the long run, though, he is FIFO because at times when you look at the defenses when they're gonna collapse on KD, which KD gonna get his at the same time, but there's gonna be times when you're gonna need him to step up and make those shots. This is not that kind of team to where you can be figuring it out. It's already head cases on this team. It's already issues within this unit. All eyes are on you. You're gonna need Ben Simmons to make some. He'll have to score some baskets. He's gonna have to, especially with the other things around him. They don't have like this huge supporting cast that can get it done. Seth isn't back yet, is he? Or is he
I'm not
playing?
sure if
I'm
he's
not
back
sure.
yet.
But he's their knockdown shooter, and if he's not fully healthy, I'm not saying you're gonna need Ben to take 20 shots a game or nothing like that. But you're gonna need him to hit some buckets. He's gonna have to be able to put the ball in the basket at times. And you're
Well,
gonna
I
need
think
like
again, like to the Draymond point, I think it's taking the open shot. You got to take the open shot, and you got to attack the basket. Not only do they have Seth, they still got Joe Harris. You know what I'm saying? So they can spread that court out where if Ben makes a pass, whoever gets it can get a bucket, right? Because think about it, you could literally put Seth, Kyrie, Joe, Kevin, and Ben, and play Ben at the five. Ben could be your small ball five. So Ben on this team is literally the Swiss Army knife. I don't 100% disagree with you, Shelton. Ben is gonna have to make some plays, some offensive scoring plays, not offensively producing, because we know he could produce offense right through passing and through IQ and things of that nature. But he needs to be able to score the buckets that need to be scored by him, right? Like again, I don't think that there's no pressure on him to average 18 to 22. There's no he doesn't need to do that with this team. But I think there is pressure just on him as an individual to take and make shots. Like 5 shot. I don't know how many minutes he played the last game, but if Ben Simmons only averages 5 shots a game, playing full minutes, that's a problem. That's a
mhm.
problem.
Tremo Water says Simmons will be forced to score come playoff time.
He will. He will.
That that
They-
that's all nice, well and that. What are you gonna do? Literally play this man at the free throw line when he's at the 3-point line? Like I
yes,
don't.
yes, that's what you do. You lay off of him, but you pack it in on the
You know
other
why you can't
guys.
do that? Because if he
Why is
plays
that?
small ball five and you got 4 shooters and you close the space by putting them in the mid post or low post with you know what I'm saying? What do you like?
Have they done that yet though?
Nah, because
I
he
just
didn't play last season.
I don't recall him ever having to do that. I guess because he's with Joel and B. We'll see
Um,
if that. I mean, it sounds good, but I don't know if they'll do it that way.
what
Well,
was the
here's the
question?
thing. He's gonna be the best outside of Giannis and Draymond. He's the best small ball five in the league.
What's up, Q? The
Well,
question, the what was the question exactly again?
the question was
Well, it was more of a
statement. Yeah.
and it was just
Oh yeah,
Brooklyn
yeah.
Ben will get the team to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Brooklyn Band will get them to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, what you think about that, Q?
I don't think that's gonna happen. Um, I think this team is definitely a second round exit. But I do think that Ben Simmons is gonna have a good season, and I do think that it's not gonna be because of Ben Simmons if he only does the bare minimum of what we know him to do in the NBA. It will not be for him doing that. It will not be his fault if they don't get past second round. Because I think that's good enough for them to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I just don't think that they have necessarily enough to top just other teams that I think are going to be more cohesive. You know what I mean? But to the point that Ben Simmons has to score in the clutch and all that stuff, that's not true. Because if you want to guard Ben Simmons at the free throw line, he's up the top of key. They did it last night. That's basically a screen for KD. Now, all right, you want to be at the free throw line. Now, Ben, you're going to basically run a DHO and you're going to screen for Kevin Durant to get a wide open, you know what I mean, wide open jumper every time, or Kyrie Irving. You're basically just going to be a screen. So I think that they can run that action, spam that action every single time. I put that in the group. So I just don't think that they have enough defensively to bang with the bigs like Giannis and Embiid for them to get past the second round. Personally, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Q, you know what it is like. obviously they're not going to be great defensively. And before you got on, I talked about their level of physicality because I do agree with Kyrie with that statement. The thing that scares me most about this team is leadership. Like, ownership isn't necessarily strong. The GM isn't strong. Steve Nash isn't a strong character by nature. KD and Kyrie, for the most part, outside of how great they are getting buckets, they're basket cases when it comes to leadership. Ben Simmons is the definition of mediocrity. So to me, there's no strong leadership and there's no true identity. And I think that no matter how much talent you have, when you lack one or both of those things in terms of leadership and identity, you're not going to go nowhere. Now, you could go far based off talent. And to your point, Q, I definitely think they could make it to the Eastern Conference, but more than likely they're going to be a second round exit. And obviously, it's still early in the season. We don't know if they're going to make any type of roster moves.
Right.
However,
Right.
because they are devoid of a true identity and a true leader on that team, they're not going to go far.
Right. I just have questions with guys like Joe Harris and Seth Curry getting extended minutes because I feel like that's just room for exposure. And if those guys are automatically going to be on the floor to provide spacing, well, how much time does that leave for guys like Royce O'Neal, Nick Claxton, if he's going to be your 5 and Ben Simmons is going to be your small ball 5? As a Sixers fan, I'm very Ben Simmons agnostic at this point in time. I really don't feel any type of way about him. So trust me when I say this. The whole theory of small ball 5 Ben, the data we've seen on it prior to this season hasn't been good. And it hasn't been encouraging for most of the time that we tried to run small ball 5 Ben. Even when he does have 4 shooters around him. Because every single season he has continued to statistically decline in just key areas for a guy at 6'10", 6'11 that shouldn't be. Like, what's your floater like within 6 feet of the basket? What's your finishing like around the basket? You know what I mean? How aggressive are you when you get 2-3 steps into the basket? Do you kick it out? Do you stop your dribble to pick it up? He does all these things, free throw percentage declining, all of these things that just like are perplexing to me for somebody who allegedly puts all this work on his game. So the Nets have a lot of questions to answer for me, man.
Hey, Q, isn't it interesting? In my opinion, Ben is one of the few stars in the league that gets coddled on progression.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like we other guys that we say that could be the face of the league and things of that nature, we're on them about, okay, well, what did you do to get better? Coaching, the media. It just feels like we hold other people to a higher regard, and when it comes to Ben Simmons, we accept all of the excuses.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I've been on that side as well of accepting, oh well, he still got the summer, and I see the summer tape and I'm like, oh, he's about to make a jump, and it's the same old Ben.
Yeah.
I don't think that as media as we are now, I don't think as a coaching staff in Brooklyn, I don't think as an ownership in Brooklyn, you can no longer accept that, because at the end of the day, man, at this point in time, if Ben isn't getting better, he's just wasting everybody's time that's involved. And people are not calling him out as they should, because like you said, he's 6'10", 6'11". We're talking about a top 10 athlete in the NBA. We're talking about basketball passing IQ, the top 3, top 5 in the league. There's so many intangible things that come so naturally to him that he should be dominating the game. And we're marginalizing him to a glorified role player when he should be the guy or the second guy. And on this team, he's just going to be a glorified role player getting max money.
Yeah, and it's definitely, even from an organizational standpoint, Steve Nash is your coach. You know what I mean? This could go either way, where we look at it one way where we say, well, that's to be expected. This went terrible. Or maybe Steve Nash is able to unlock some type of offensive, juice within Ben Simmons to find that medium ground between, doing what he's comfortable with and doing more of what he needs to do.
But we're seeing Steve Nash take the same approach as Doc Rivers. He's too great. It doesn't matter if he shoots or not. No, F all that. No, hey, bro, I need you to shoot the open shots. I don't need you to force jumpers. We got guys that make tough shots. I don't need you taking a whole bunch of tough shots out there, but I need you shooting the ball. I need you scoring the basket.
Yeah.
And I have not heard a coach come out and say that.
That FIFA, that may be what they're saying behind closed doors. Because you're right, they didn't say those things, and look where he was last year, sitting on the sidelines in his feelings. So you can't say that kind of stuff to a Ben Simmons publicly, but maybe he's saying it behind closed doors. Who knows? Or maybe they're not able to say it at all. You know, we just don't know. We know he's fragile. So saying certain things to certain people, they can't take it. Maybe he's one of those guys. Maybe he is. And it's tough to say. Maybe he's not who we think he should be.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think that when you get into the limelight, the spotlight, criticism comes with that. You know, and I think you got to be big enough and open enough to accept that and then prove your doubters wrong, your naysayers wrong. You know, and I don't think anybody internally or externally has an expectation of Ben Simmons leading the league in scoring, right? Like I don't think nobody ever thought that was going to be Ben's game. Now I think that the natural progression of his game, right? The same thing with Bron. Nobody thought Bron was going to come in and be the all-time leading scorer of the NBA. Nobody thought that because his game was not predicated on getting buckets, right? He could get buckets, but the thing that made him great was how he was able to affect the game in all facets. This was just a byproduct of consistency and longevity. Now, with Ben, it's kind of sort of similar in a sense that I never anticipated, you know, Ben coming out of LSU to come in here and just light it up. I was like, okay, this is a guy that operates closer to the basket. He's a driver, a disher, a playmaker. But there's things that what is he, year 6 going or 7?
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's almost a decade in. He's almost a decade in and is scared to shoot a 15-footer. That's unacceptable on all levels.
He was what he was, you know, and LeBron had high expectations coming into the league. Ben Simmons did too. Ben Simmons was Magic Johnson. That was his comp. And that's what we expected him to be, which is a leader. And that we know he's not. So in saying that, it's not that you look for him to, you know, once again, I don't look for him to score 30 points a game. Even though I feel like at his skill set and what he can do, he should be able to. It's just that's not what I look for him anymore. I just look for consistency of him to be able to do it all year long and for it to carry over and step to that next level in the playoffs. Shaq says that Shaq's theory about playoffs, I believe 110%. He says that every player that's good, you know, those great players rather, they should raise their game. They should score 5 more points per game in the playoffs. Like your game should raise a little bit. And that's something that I expect from him. I expect for him to be more aggressive this year. I expect for him to do more to take the pressure off of KD.
Let me ask you this. Like, what is the next level for Ben Simmons? Because I feel like we've only seen one level for almost a decade now.
Right. And I'm with you. I'm with you. So that's why I say I temper those expectations of people. That next level for him is just, you know, like I said, the fearlessness and consistency, being out there on the court and being fearless and consistent. Because we compare him to, you know, we talk about him and Draymond having similar skills. You know, they always talked about him being traded to the Warriors. You got to come with that consistency. You just got to be consistent. You ain't got to be the greatest on the court. You just got to be an ultra consistent guy who people got to be afraid of.
I can see that. I mean, for me, we don't need to spend 2 hours on Ben Simmons, but I think that for somebody who, you know, is trying to get better at your craft, Ben Simmons needs to work on getting a floater. I think that he exhibited that yesterday, that was really nice against Milwaukee. I think that he could probably get a little bit stronger too against bigger fives. I think that he should fully embrace being a bigger NBA player. He's going to lose a little bit more speed, but I think it'll actually give him more longevity to be like able to guard, 2 through 5. He can still guard, the occasional point guard, but as you get older, you probably want to, move around a little bit less, be more of an anchor defensively like you are. But right now he's more of like a attack dog, or anybody, can get it. But specifics on offense, work on your free throw, probably switch to your right hand. A lot of people say that he's been shooting with his left hand, the wrong hand since high school. And then, honestly, if you want to look at any players to work out within the offseason, I've been saying for years he needs to give a Blake Griffin and be like, yo, tell me what you did. Like, because you couldn't shoot for shit. Like, tell me what you did. Like, you didn't shoot. You had nothing. You had but you kept a repeatable rhythm in your shot. You found a one motion shot that worked for you. And Blake Griffin turned into in Detroit those first 2 years, and even his last couple years in the Clippers, he was a 3-point guy. He was 3-point shooter, you know what I mean? Who actually was able to turn himself into a real offensive threat off the dribble too, as well as a lot of those intangible things. I feel like people said Magic Johnson, but I always thought he really was Blake Griffin waiting to, happen again. So.
Another player too, and I'm predicting that this, and look, as soon as I mention his name, y'all already gonna know. Like I don't really too much care for him, but what I've seen this off season, I'm just like, oh well, okay, maybe I have to eat some of the words that came out of my mouth some time ago. But Pascal Siakam, like watch when y'all see this man play this season. Like his bag is more expansive, and looking at where Siakam started to what I think he's gonna do this season, that's another person that Ben should be like, hey, bro, who your trainer, bro? Can right. You know what I'm saying? I pay you to let me jump in your workout. You know what I'm saying? Type stuff. Because there's too many guys that have come either before Ben or after Ben that have surpassed Ben, and that's a problem because Ben should be closer to the top 10 guy in the league.
Yeah. So where do you want to start, Q?
Let's do the positions first. Pause. Let's do top 5 shooting guards.
All right.
Let me ask y'all something.
iPhone.
Do y'all consider Paul George a shooting guard?
Nah, small forward.
Small forward.
Small forward.
Okay.
Him and Kawhi are they're the two forwards, twin forwards.
Gotcha. I was torn on that because I don't know. I have this argument every year, this thought every year.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
What about Jaylen Brown?
He a 2 to me.
Yeah, he's a 2.
Okay.
So Jaylen is a 2, then Paul George to me is a 2.
I think Jaylen is like 6'6", 6'7". Paul George is like the 6'8", 6'9". That it's weird, but that 2-inch like difference, it gives that credence to being able to guard LeBron versus guarding, Kyle Kuzma. You know what I mean? Well, Kyle Kuzma's 6'9" too, so let me not even just say that. It's like the difference between guarding De'Aaron Fox. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
Gotcha.
We're not doing that, Rob. We're not
funny in the chat. All right, so let's go, man. I'll kick us off. Number 5, I have Jaylen Brown at 5. Actually, yeah.
At number 5, I got James Harden.
I just lost my list.
Q, because Sheldon talking to himself.
Oh,
I just lost my list. My bad. I don't know where my list just went.
Number 5, I have Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Go
you
do
find
your
the
4, and no, I didn't. Do your 4,
okay.
And I'll come in. I got
you. Go ahead, Q, with 4.
I got DeMar DeRozan.
Wow.
See, I think he's more of a 3 than a 2. I think Zach LaVine's the 2.
I think Zach is the 3. See, that's weird.
No, Zach is definitely the 2.
He's definitely the 2. They interchange. Well, DeMar DeRozan's been he's been trying to
Zach
be his whole life.
Zach don't have the level of physicality to guard most threes like consistently. He's too thin.
He's always been a 2. He's my 5 too. I'm sorry, y'all.
See, it is weird because I have Jimmy as a small forward, but Jimmy was always a shooting guard up until the last couple years, and now DeMar DeRozan,
he's been a 2-3.
Yeah,
but Jimmy's always been a 2-3.
Yeah.
Zach has been a 2.
DeMar
has been a 3-2.
But why they made Wiggins when well, see, this is getting weird now. See, the Timberwolves when they had Wiggins, Towns, and Levine, Wiggins was the 2. I thought.
No,
Nah.
Wiggins was
Wiggins
the 3.
was a 3.
Okay.
And Towns was. Levine has always been a 2. They talked about him playing a little point too. He was a 1-2 more so than 2-3.
I got you.
Yeah, he's my 5.
I still gotta go with
Zach
DeMar
Levine.
DeRozan.
Okay.
Zach Levine is my 5.
Who's your 4 while you at it?
Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
That's real.
My 4 is Donovan Mitchell.
I got James Harden as my 4.
Bet.
3, I have Anthony Edwards.
I got Anthony Edwards too.
Okay.
Y'all can be surprised with my 3, but I think it's Klay Thompson.
Just, look, if he was 100% healthy, I feel you. But
That's why I say that, because I think coming back, FIFO, this year he's gonna round back off in the form. That's why I say that.
I feel you. Look, so I graded hard for injury, but then when we get to power forwards, I'm gonna eat my own words, but it is what it is. Who you got at number 3, Q?
Jaylen Brown.
All right, who you got at number 2?
Number 2, I count Kyrie Irving as a shooting guard, especially in this offensive iteration with Ben Simmons. I feel like Ben's gonna bring the ball up a lot, and I feel like Kyrie's gonna be used as more of like a gunner, as what they wanted to do last season, but they didn't really have the more so distributor, the body to handle it. And I feel like Ben Simmons gives that 2-way to allow Kyrie to really flourish as that offensive guy.
Bet. For me, at the second best shooting guard in the league is Jaylen Brown.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that's high.
He had a damn good playoff run.
He really
I'm
did.
with you. Nah, that's why he cracked my 5. I got D Mitch as my 2. Yeah.
Okay. The reason why it's hard for me to put D Mitch higher than where I have him? Defense.
I feel that. That. Well, my 1 is Devin Booker.
Me too.
Me too. That's also my number 1.
I didn't even say my 2, but my 2 was Jaylen Brown as well for that same reason, FIFO. The fact that those guys got to the finals. And, my 1 is the same as y'all's.
Devin Booker.
Yeah. Now,
he
Jaylen Brown can
earned
surpass him this year, though.
Huh?
I think Jaylen Brown can surpass Devin Booker this year.
I think Jaylen could. I think Anthony Edwards can. I think Anthony Edwards could be the best shooting guard in the league after this season.
I think so too. The only thing is I hate that trade. I gotta see it work for it to work in my mind. I don't like adding Rudy Gobert in that mix because Karl Anthony Towns would get out of the way. So Anthony Edwards could create. You got another big man that's anchoring down that middle that's taking up some of his creation. I just don't like that lineup.
I think they'll be fine. Cat likes to stay at the 3. They'll be fine.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, because Cat likes to stay at the 3-point line. It was easier for Anthony Edwards to operate in that little mid to get to the basket space. When you got a big man down there that stands by the basket, it's harder for him to get and make moves because you can kind of count on Rudy Gobert to be in that. Now it may work. I'm not saying it won't. I just didn't like the trade. I didn't understand.
Hey, you know what? Ant Edwards gonna jump over Rudy and whoever guarding Rudy and whoever's guarding him.
That's real. That's real.
All right, so Shelton, we'll start with you. Let's start at small forwards. Who you got at number 5?
Oh shit! Don't start with me yet because I still ain't on my list. Dang it. See, I put them on different pages, and then I had to put some other stuff in.
Well, while you do that, Nick will be here Tuesday. We'll get next Tuesday. He had his, but we'll just have him reel his off Tuesday.
Well, then go ahead. Ken, we'll end up with Shelton.
5. I have small forward. I have Jason Tatum.
Damn, bro, did you copy my list, bro? I got Jason Tatum at number 5 too.
I got Paul George.
Okay. All right, Shelton is on you now.
LaMelo Ball.
Nah, it wouldn't be. 5 is gonna be Michael Porter Jr. this year.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You
I
said
can-
Michael
Yes.
Porter
he
Jr.
did.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So you're projecting. You're not
Okay,
going
he's
based
a-
off of.
Yeah,
He's-
I'm projecting.
Okay, he's
Yeah.
forecasting. Okay.
Yeah. That's how I did mine. I'm sorry.
Because not with
That's
that
cool.
back. Not with that
You're
back.
right. Hey, he's looked pretty good in the preseason, and I
No,
think
he been
Oh yeah,
hooping.
Michael
I think he's
Porter
gonna
could
round
be
back
top
up
5
and go.
at his position, but he's been hurt since
Yeah,
high school.
yeah. Yeah, I just think that this year he's gonna bounce back. I'm
Niggas-
really counting on him bouncing back this year.
Yeah, I'm counting on that spine bouncing. Like that shit is I don't know, man. That shit is scary, dude. Like I don't know.
It is,
Like
man. I'm
dude's
really
a
pulling for him.
spinal injury. Come on, man.
I'm pulling for him.
Shelton, who you got at
And you
number
trying
4?
to dunk?
At number 4, I got Jason Tatum.
Who you got, Q?
Wow. I got Kawhi Leonard.
I got Jimmy Butler.
Damn, I got
You
Jimmy too. Yeah, I got Jimmy too. I think
That's real.
the only one that may deviate is our 3, but we probably got the same 1 and 2.
We probably do got the same 1 and 2. I know 3 has to be different because of where you placed the player I got at 3. He was on another list or another category. For you.
Okay. But yeah, man, I'm showing Jimmy some love, man. I'm
He
showing
earned
Jimmy
it.
some love.
He's earned it.
You know, yeah, I definitely think he's earned it.
He's
So
earned it. He's top 5 at his position.
His props. His just due.
Everyone must bow.
Yep. So who you got number 3, Ken?
Kawhi.
Some people may agree or disagree at the position I put this player in, but give me Luka. Luka's a point forward to me.
Oh, okay.
All right.
He don't
I
guard
got-
1s or 2s.
We can debate that. I have Jimmy Butler at 3.
Okay. What about you,
I
Shelton?
got
Who you got 3?
Kawhi Leonard at 3.
Bet. Who's your number 2?
My number 2 is Kevin Durant.
What about you, Q?
LeBron James.
Number 2 for me, Kevin Durant.
Same.
So number 1, LeBron.
Yep.
Number 1, LeBron for me.
Mhm.
Number 1, KD for you, Q.
KD.
Do you? What about you, Shelton?
LeBron.
LeBron. Yeah. So let me ask you, Q. You're the only one that put Kevin Durant over Bron.
Mhm.
Now, I think from obviously an age perspective, and even a health perspective, no. If I take it into totality, but why do you have KD over Bron right now? I don't think you're wrong. I think they're 1 and 2. But people have their different reasonings.
It's just kind of petty, but more recent playoff success the last 2 seasons. Been able to do more. I feel like has been more of a factor in when it counted versus LeBron, who's always has definitely been putting up numbers, but has definitely been affected by his teammates' lack of health, all those things. But I feel like KD at the position, he's playing the position better than LeBron last year was.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why I had Butler over Tatum, to be honest. I remember the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And while he has all the skill set and the requisite tools, there was that one thing that was lacking. And I don't know, it was hard for me to get that off my brain. I was
me
making
too.
this list.
It felt like the moment was too big for Tatum. And I don't like that as a coach, as a fan, somebody outside looking in. To me, I respect Kobe airballing the 3s in Utah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's young. He ain't having, but he had the balls to take them. Like Tatum oftentimes looked like a deer in the headlight. Like, I don't even want this. Jalen, where you at? Like, I don't like that.
Tatum didn't beat Butler like that. He had a good game, a couple of good games. But y'all, revisionist history, because I remember.
What's
Tatum,
funny is
Tatum had some moments. He definitely had some moments, man. But
Before the finals,
they could have won that finals if Tatum would have stepped up, bro.
what's so funny is how much Jimmy Butler's career has been affected by 2 single shots. You know what I mean? Like Kawhi with the shot in Toronto, and then the shot just last year the pull up that he just
The
took
pull-up three.
against Boston. How if two of those shots or if one of those shots go differently, how we might look at him completely differently as a player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really think if Philly would have went on and won the championship, Jimmy would have stayed. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you, Q. Those two shots really have defined. Those two were probably some of the biggest moments of his career.
Mm-hmm. That definitely.
Yeah.
Power forwards. Ken, let's start with you. Number 5, who you got?
Evan Mobley.
That was quick.
That's good.
For me, number 5. This is a little bit of projection. Pascal Siakam, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all. And I'm not a fan, but this man got a bag and a half now. Who you got, Q?
Well, I just did big men at this point in time because it's like I feel like they're so interchangeable nowadays. Where you got Pascal plays center now, he plays power forward. It's however Nurse wants to use him against whoever the defense is. I mean, whoever the offensive player that he's guarding is. That's kind of how the sets are going now. But if
wait, hold on. Before you name your number 5, then
Mm-hmm.
Shelton, did you have him as just big men, or did you separate him power forward, center?
I separate him, but I did add Tatum as a 4. He's one of my.
Okay, that's fine. We got people in different subgenres. So Q, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna hold off on your takes until we get to centers.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you just gonna jump in there.
For sure.
You're gonna jump in there. So Shelton, for you, who you got number 5 power forward?
Evan Mobley. I think I agree with Ken on that one. I think he's gonna have a hell of a year.
He had a hell of a rookie year, and he's gonna have a hell of a year.
He's gonna have a hell of a year.
Yeah. Who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Cat, Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
Damn, so he's not a center?
Nah.
He's not anymore. You got Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, like
see, that's why they just big men at this point.
Yeah, they moved. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, Q. That's why what you did makes sense. But they moved. He's playing exclusively the 4 now. That's why they added Rudy.
Yep. So I just like you, Shelton. Well, it doesn't, Ken. Like if you see him as a center, he's a center. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I got Cat at number 4 at power forward. Who do you have at number 4 at power forward, Ken?
I had Sabonis.
DeMontis. Okay.
I like that, Ken. I was struggling because I'm telling you, I think he's going to have a good year too. I wanted to put him at the 5 because he's going to average a double-double. It's just they got to prove some things to people. But I like him.
You said they or him?
They as a squad.
And him as the leader.
See, and see, this is my issue with DeMontis. If he's your best player, you're not doing nothing. And I don't think he's trash at all. I like him, but he should be your 3rd or 4th best guy on the championship team.
But you know what, FIFO? On this team, he may be now the 3rd. And that's the thing, because you got Fox. De'Aaron Fox is playing excellent basketball. And then you also add this rookie, Keegan Murray is looking awesome.
So, yeah, I do like the rookie. I do like the rookie.
So in saying that, he may fall in line where you need him to fall in line and average a double-double. And you do what you need to do.
But
make the playoffs.
Ken, who do you have at number 3 power forward?
Pascal.
Wow. Okay. I thought I had him high. At number 3, give me Anthony Davis. What about you, Shelton?
We're on 3 now. Zion Williamson.
Okay.
Give me Zion.
Who's your number 2?
That's all contingent on him staying healthy. Number 2 for me is Jason Tatum.
I got you. And this is why I said that I'm gonna eat my words just a little bit because I've been grading people that have been injured heavy, but Zion is like the best power forward in the league, bro.
Damn, I didn't even consider him because he's just been hurt.
No, I feel you, but
so he can make any of my list.
I feel you, but honestly, man, like the man's not even 22 yet.
But damn, Kawhi was hurt last year too. But I've seen more Kawhi.
I feel you.
Right. That's understandable.
And that's the reason why I didn't have Kawhi on my top 5 was because of the injuries, and that's why I said, if you want to call me, I can't even think of the word, but
Hypocrite.
a hypocrite for having Zion and not Kawhi, I'll take it because Zion is the second best power forward in the league.
I mean, I did it the other way around, so I am too. But yeah. Damn.
So who's your top power forward in the league, Ken?
2, I have Anthony Davis.
2, you have Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Okay, who's number 1? It should be number 1 on everybody's list.
Giannis.
Yep. Shelton.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Now my problem with AD is the same thing we just talked about, is the injuries too. But I guess I should have thought more about that, because if I'm gonna do the AD, I can do the same thing with Zion. So I'm kind of dishing on myself for that. But that's why I left AD out of my top 5.
I guess all three of us did it.
Well, no, I had AD at number 3.
I know, but he did the same thing. He left
Yeah.
Anthony Davis off. But
See, AD is a center, man. I don't care. Like, it's just it's all
that, bro.
it's all one big ass position, man.
Ask AD, is he a center?
Oh yeah,
he won't claim it.
So Q, we gonna let you run down your list since you was a combination of the 2. So at your big man, who's your 5th best big man in the league?
Evan Mobley.
Okay,
He
And
shares
number
the court with Jared Allen, but he is tasked with protecting the rim too. So he has center responsibilities, but because he plays offense, we call him power forwards. It's a little weird to me, so that's why I call him big man. Number 4, Towns.
Okay.
Karl Anthony Towns. The
3.
same exact thing with go Bear. Embiid.
Okay.
Yep. Then I got number 2, I have Jokic.
Mhm.
And number 1, I have Giannis.
Okay.
Giannis could be classified as both a forward, guard, and a center. Like, he's all 3 positions at one. But he's just he's a big man. He's tasked to do everything and just be big.
Who's your 3, Q?
My 3 was Joel Embiid.
So you put Joker above Joel Embiid too?
I do.
Is it because he does more?
It's because he is the lifeblood of the offense. Joel Embiid is tasked to generate points with his skills alone. Jokic, with his skills alone, generates points for everybody and himself. You see what I'm saying? And I think that while Embiid is a much more ferocious defender, or underrated defender in my opinion too, not just as a shot blocker, but even on ball for certain guys in key spots during the playoffs. Even guys like Bam locking up younger, smaller dudes like him is really amazing for a guy like Joel Embiid to move that quickly. But yeah, Jokic, his offensive gifts and just what he means to Denver's offense. Without him, they're just nothing.
I see some of y'all saying some of my players are centers and power forward. I did what some of y'all said. I went to Basketball Reference. And I just went with, but yeah.
All right, so me, Shelton, and Ken are going to give you our centers. Shelton, let's start with you. Who you got at number 5 at center?
Number 5, I got Jared Allen.
Okay.
Wow.
At number 5, I have DeAndre Ayton.
I have Ayton too.
Damn, Ken, you was cheating off my list, bro.
I think he's gonna have a bounce back year though.
I do too.
Now that he got paid, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he have a bounce back year because he was.
I hope he do too.
Because he didn't get paid. Now that he got paid, maybe maybe it'll be the reverse. But anyway,
what about number 4?
I just see him. I see that dance he was doing. That's what killed me. I can't get it out.
I had Bam.
You got Bam at number 4?
Bam.
Okay, at my number 4, I got Rudy Gobert. What about you, Shelton?
I had Bam. I had Bam as well, kid.
Bam at 4? Okay.
Yeah.
Who you got at number 3, Shelton?
Vucevic.
Okay. At number 3, I got Bam.
Karl Anthony Towns, but not this power forward thing through because y'all right with Rudy there, he is a power forward. So I might do some slight moderations for Tuesday.
Okay. Who you got at number 2, Ken?
Jokic.
I got Joker too. Who you got at number 2, Shelton?
Joel Embiid.
And I think Joker is your number 1.
Yes.
And Joel Embiid's my number 1.
Same.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only reason.
That's what I was going to ask you and Ken that very thing. Tell me why you say that.
So the reason for me why I put Embiid over Joker, and I think offensively Joker has um the one thing that I don't think Joel does good, or Joel's good enough, but it's not spectacular.
Yeah.
And Joker is spectacular. The passing, I think Joker is top 3, top 5 in the NBA at passing. This dude is super uncanny with what he's able to do. However, there's two things that I think that Joel has over him that's too hard to overlook: level of physicality slash athleticism, and then defensive prowess. Joker really can't guard nobody. Like perimeter, pick and roll, at the basket. Now he is a big body and he does know how to use the big body. Like, sometimes big people play small. He doesn't play small, but he also doesn't play above the rim. Joel does. And he's a lockdown defender. Now, I'm not going to say he's out here guarding the ones and the twos and the threes, but in those switch situations, he can hold his own, where I don't think Joker can. Now, if you want to say, and I agree with Q, where his offensive game is more expansive because it's not just generating points for himself, but he generates points for the team, 100%. And anybody that got Joker number one, I ain't going to argue you. But for me, those are the two things that put Joel over Joker for me.
Yeah, I mean, Q made a lot of sense in his explanation. And like you, I'm not knocking anybody to have Joker, number one. But yeah, I just think that, like I saw somebody say in the chat, the back-to-back MVP being second is kind of crazy. Well, he's not back-to-back MVP to me. Embiid got robbed of one, if not both of those.
Yeah, he got robbed in the second, not the first.
So
he didn't play enough games on that first one.
Okay, that's fine.
On the second one, yes, it could have went either way.
I mean, he led the league in scoring, man. It's so crazy as like a center for Joel Embiid to do that, and they still didn't give him the MVP. I felt like he earned it last year. I felt like it should have been him. So, but I just think when it comes to the center position, Joel Embiid has that classical ferociousness that we look for in the Shaquille O'Neals, we look for in the gracefulness of the Elijah Wands and what, right? But I think with Joker, he's so not even alien or Matrix but it's just he's a whole different breed of center, where now he is the entire nucleus the same way Steph is for his team. Joel Embiid, while he is the heart of that team, he can't set his own table. Joker can set his own table without even touching the ball, because he can orchestrate offense by setting picks. His understanding of the game without the ball is just so much greater than Embiid's is, and I can't knock Embiid for that, because I'm asking him to be the sword and shield of our team, the defend the rim, defend the best player sometimes, and then also give us 25 to 30 points, if not 15 rebounds on top of that. So it's really a toss-up, man. That's why I have the big man category of him, Giannis, and Embiid. It's just it's their crown to share. They're all holding it right now. They're carrying the league to me.
So I think that's a conversation, because it was interesting when you brought it up. So what do you think about just bigs overall, combining the 4 or 5 into one category?
I don't like it.
Okay.
I've never liked it, especially when the NBA went to the All-Star voting and they went to just big or front court and back court. I do not like it. Now, I also hear what Jalen Rose's point is, where they created the positions for the
novices to follow the game.
Exactly. So people that aren't necessarily in the game can follow the game, right? But I not saying that a power forward has to be powerful and a small forward has to be small, and a shooting guard all they do is shoot. I do think that those positions have a definition, just like a job role. And depending on your organization, they may require different things because of how your team is constructed. But for the most part, to me, a point guard should be able to have some level of playmaking ability. Another requirement, in my opinion, for a point guard is somebody that can shoot free throw. You ain't got to be Steph Curry or Dame Lillard from 3-point land. You don't even have to be a good 3-point shooter, but the ball is going to be in your hands closing out the game. You need to be able to hit free throws. So you have to be able to shoot to some degree. Now, if that means 3-pointers, that means mid-range, that means floaters, that means whatever, however you want to quantify it. But a point guard should be able to play make, guard their own position to a degree, and hit shots and free throws. I think those are like the prerequisites. Shooting guards, in my opinion, need to be one of the most athletic people on the court. Doesn't have to be the most athletic, but you got to be able to guard ones, twos, and some threes. You got to be one of those people that can be a Swiss Army knife to a degree. Shooting should be in your repertoire. It doesn't have to be three, doesn't have to just be mid-range, but shooting to a degree has to be in your repertoire. Free throws is a must. Like, you got to be 80% plus, in my opinion. Now, obviously, you have defensive guys, right? Like the Tony Allens of the world. So was he shooting and stuff like that? No, but he made it up on defense. Small forwards is the Swiss Army knife of the NBA. I think you need to be able to do a little bit of everything. Basically, jack of all trades, master of none, or you could be a master of one and just do that one thing. I think
That's
power
the
forward.
most athletic.
Huh?
That's the most athletic position.
Yes, that's the most athletic position on the court. I think power forward now is starting to become that as well. When you see dudes like Victor Wembanyama, I don't know what the fuck he is. He's 7'5". He moved like a two guard, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Power forwards, in my opinion, are guys that are too short to be centers in today's basketball. But that position, in my opinion, is like the tight end in football. Every year it's getting redefined. So to me, that position has to have IQ, a lot of basketball wits, and some type of ability, and then you just figure it out. Centers in the NBA now, shit, I really feel like we only have two true centers that impact the game, with Joker and Embiid. But to me, that's the definition of what a center should be. Now you do have defensive guys like Rudy Gobert that, but to me, I take issue with dudes like Rudy Gobert, because you could be tenacious on defense, but the moment they put a 6'3" dude on you, you don't know what to do. And I just, that don't compute to me. You could go over here and try to block everybody and man up and do all of this stuff, but then they put a little dude on you and you're like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm frustrated at center.
It's crazy, people, because they're really, I consider like Embiid and Joker like super centers. So there's really no true centers. We talk about Akeem Olajuwon, who had a nice little jump shot, but it wasn't, these guys shooting threes like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how there's no more back to the basket. I mean, they can do this, but I'm saying outside of those two, take them out of the equation, there's not any true centers left.
That's why I think it's all just become one nebulous position, because I think the principles of both positions are the same. I think that the overall ask for, if we're talking about the job, I think that both descriptions are worded differently, but they're describing the same things, where it's like, don't get destroyed on the inside, protect the paint a little bit, and then make sure that your guy does not, kill our team. You know what I mean? Anything beyond that is pretty much what the player has to offer. If you're Evan Mobley and you have a wiggle to your game, you got some in and out to your dribble, you can step out a little bit more, cool. If you're Joel Embiid, you're more back to the basket, and you can do more Kobe fadeaways, and sometimes, that's your back, cool. If you're Rudy Gobert, you're stationary, you're just very much so over left, right shoulder, cool. But a lot of these guys are just being asked to defend the rim, protect the paint, and if you can do more than that, cool. Bam Adebayo, he's asked to play the 5 for them. To me, he's a power forward, but he's a center for the Miami Heat. You know what I mean? Like, you look at something like Wenyen Gabriel, who comes in behind Anthony Davis. He would be a power forward. He's skinny as hell, but he's their backup 5. So it's like, to me, the principles are the same of what is asked for both positions, which is why Giannis, protect the paint, and then what else do you do? Go gadget arms, distribute, shoot threes now. All right. That's just what he does on top of the job description. What else does he bring to the table?
And I don't disagree. I think I guess I'm more traditional in my thought process when it comes to center, because I feel like I grew up in an era that probably had some of the best centers, right? Like, we had a lot of them, and I'll just riddle a couple of them off. Q, you already mentioned Akeem, right? And out of all the centers that I'm about to name, there's one thing that I feel that they all had similar, and it was very underrated, especially because of the time. But Akeem, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Alonzo Mourning, Shaq, Arvydas Sabonis. I could keep going on. Outside of Shaq in that list, they all had a face-up game. They all had 15-foot jumpers. I think Patrick Ewing is criminally underrated when it comes to a face-up game. Now, did he have a back to the basket game? Of course, because that's how basketball was played at the time. But Ewing can face you and take one or two dribbles and take you off the dribble. David Robinson, especially. Hakeem, do I need? So to me, like, you're right, Q, where I think centers and power forwards, the ask is very similar. But in my opinion, centers should be more physically dominant.
Oh yeah,
You know
no,
what I'm saying?
definitely.
Right.
Oh,
So
definitely.
that's why for me, there is a separation.
It's almost like it's almost like this. It's almost like this. Where you can almost relate it to music, where a nigga that really rap, when that nigga really raps, right? Like, oh, he can fucking rap. Versus a nigga that make music and he can, oh, okay, he got some lyrics here and there. They're both being asked to make a song, but that nigga raps the same way where like that motherfucker's a center. We know the fucking difference. Embiid, Jokic, those are traditional centers who have become they got the iOS update. You know what I'm saying? Whereas these other guys, they're very much so asked to do similar things, but they can't touch when the real MC comes in the room. When there's a real MC, it's like, okay, that's clearly him. So that's where I kind of look at it though, where it's like, I can't penalize the other guys for not being able to be them though. You know what I mean? Because they're still asked to do the same things. Like take up Montrezl Harrell, still power forward, but that dude is damn near a small forward, just thugging it out, playing YMCA ball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like he is, I guess this era's Kenneth Faried. You know what I'm saying? Like Kenneth Faried played 4-5.
Yep.
Just depended on what you needed and what the matchup was. So again, I don't 100% disagree. It's just I feel like there are true centers, so we need to address those guys and separate them from the big men because to me, when I look at your top three, Q, Giannis, Joker, and Embiid, you're asking all three of those dudes to do a variation of what the other one does, but more defined to the skill set, right? Like I could create a job description and it'll fit all three, but then when it's like what I need you to do specifically for us, then it becomes a little bit more tailored. And to me, Giannis doesn't fit a center. Now, does he have some center principles, right? Like what we need you to do for us to be successful, of course.
Right.
But you're not truly our center. Now, I need you to play the position at times to give us a decided advantage, right? But you're not going to play exclusively the 5. With Joker and Embiid, you're playing exclusively the 5. So to me, we have to be able to separate and categorize those guys because they're dominant at what they do, and what they do, Giannis can't do. You know what I'm saying? Or he could do it, but he doesn't do it as good as how they do what they do. If that makes sense.
I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying.
So that's why I'm soft on the big man list. Okay, cool. If that's how you want to see it. And I also agree with the principalities, but them two dudes, they're dominating center play. So I feel like we have to crown them. Like y'all the two best.
Absolutely.
King. Hold on, let me go back to it. Since we're on this topic, he said that the NBA, in terms of positions, really only has 3 of them now. Either you're a point guard, a wing, or a big. Then they have a question for you, FIFO, and then Q, there's a question from you, coming from Drink More Water. So FIFO, AD or Zion?
Zion. Look, up until this point, and obviously Zion's only going into his 3rd year, if I'm not mistaken, right? Third year. Yeah. He doesn't feel as whiny / crybaby as AD has his entire career. Like there was always something that AD whined about. I feel like I don't hear that or feel that from Zion. And then here's my biggest thing. As a basketball coach, I've coached a lot of different style and types of players I prefer guys that I don't have to call a play for and you impact the game top to bottom. Because what that means is one of your best abilities is want it and effort. And you can't really coach that. Somebody has that or they don't. Now you can get more out of them if they have it. If they don't have it, then it is what it is. But the fact that Zion has that immense athletic ability, the body to back up the athletic ability, and the want it and the effort, I'll take that guy over the super skillful guy every day out the week. So to me, that's the main reason why I'm taking Zion. Zion will average 30 points on 10 shots and on putbacks. Like that's crazy.
Yours, Q, from Drink More Water, as well as Bam or Mobley.
Bam or Mobley. Mobley right now. I think Mobley has already shown that he's a better player than Bam. I think Bam is right now better on defense because he's more versatile. But I think Evan Mobley, I think we are potentially looking at the 2020s Kevin Garnett. I don't want to say that lightly. I want to say that with like a lot of reverence for KG. But I think that Evan Mobley's that talented with his handle, with the just a quick trigger on his shot. He has really good footwork, especially in the mid post and down low. And I think that his defense has a lot to actually even get better at. And I think he can actually be a 2 through 5 defender in the playoffs on multiple switches.
You know what, Q? I'm gonna just say one thing. Bam already hit the ceiling.
Yeah,
Bam is as good as he's gonna be. This is it. Mobley, shit.
Yeah.
It's year 2.
And
He's not even in the window yet.
Yeah. Question for you, Shelton, from Foreign Hustle.
Okay, Foreign.
Do you think the Hornets should tank for Victor
Yes.
Wembanyama?
What?
Sweepstakes.
1,000%.
Tomorrow, bro.
I think they already are. I think a lot of those teams that are like at that level have to, especially in a city like Charlotte, because we don't get those top name free agents up there. And the teams that don't, that's your only way of, expanding the roster and getting some of those guys to come, because people will come play with him. Getting LaMelo was big, but you need something else. You're going to need that. So, yes. And that's kind of, like I said, it's kind of what they're doing anyway, because you got a bunch of rookies and second-year players on that team.
You know what would be crazy is, and we can definitely talk more about teams we would want to see Victor go to later on, if not this episode, then maybe on Tuesday. But I think just him being in Charlotte alone would be obviously amazing. And there's also a little tidbit of a connection here, too, because I believe all my football, soccer heads in the chat, please let me know if I'm correct. But last time I checked, Paris Saint-Germain, the soccer club over in France, they're sponsored by Jordan Brand. So I could see like the whole like Victor French connection, like that being a little bridge for whichever team gets him. They're getting an international market with this kid. So automatically, whoever is going to draft him, you're going to get buildings built in your city just because he's there. If he's that good, and I think he's going to pretty much be that good. So,
that's a big dude, man. He got to wear a size 20 shoe. That's ridiculous.
Dude,
I think the only players, Shaq's shoe was bigger than his, and one other player, I can't remember what it was.
Dude, the amount of this is why it's so amazing. And this is why I want players, not to derail the conversation, but this is why I always want players and young athletes and people who have siblings or brothers, sisters who are trying to be athletes. When you look at people like Victor Wembanyama, they are complete examples that the very body of an athlete is a marketplace within itself. When a dude like him comes to a state or comes to a city and he's going to get drafted, they're going to erect buildings just because of the income and revenue that he is going to bring in for that city. There's going to be tourism that comes into that city just to see that person. And this goes for multiple superstars and whatnot. So I really need people to always understand that it's deeper than rap. It's deeper than sports. It's deeper than entertainment. There's economics to this shit. that these
I'm a
players should never.
businessman.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Like real shit. Like it's a business. Like with Victor, he's about to bring so much money. The same way LeBron was what, like 10% of Cleveland's economy? Like, come on, dude.
Yep. And you know, Q, I guess we could talk a little bit about it, but and I know Ken is chopped it up, he's gonna put it out as a D365. But bruh, I think the one city that needs Victor Wembanyama, not where I would like for him to go for basketball reasons, but for the business of basketball. If he somehow, and I'm glad Nick is not here today, but if he wound up with the New York Knicks, bro, we're talking this dude within the first 10, maybe 12 years, if he lasts that long, would be a billionaire. He will be the quickest dude to $1 billion out of anybody in sports ever.
No, absolutely. Like him in the Garden. I'll tell you right now, I know that there's multiple teams that are kicking themselves. I mean, multiple owners and multiple rich people that are kicking themselves that there's not a Vegas team yet. They would love to have him in a Vegas team right now.
Oh yeah,
dude, he'd be fucking the second attraction next to Usher and shit, dude. Like, come on now. So it's like, you know, so the New York connection, I can see that happening. Charlotte would be dope. I think Washington could be cool. You know what I mean? Houston, dope. Paolo, I think Orlando's got a little nucleus bubble in there with Franz Wagner. Shout out to all the Orlando fans. And they have Paolo and I like Suggs as being like the third or fourth guy on the team.
I like Anthony too.
Yeah, bro, they have, and the coach is all right. So I think if Victor went there, he'd be solid too. Him and Paolo or Detroit.
Shelton, to what you said about Cole Anthony, I like him, don't love him. He's not special, and I think that is the Orlando Magic still Achilles heel. They don't have elite guard play, and I think that's going to hinder them.
Doesn't he scream Austin Rivers to you as a career arc?
Yes, journeyman.
Yes,
combo
like,
guard
has a career year. Has a career year. 5 years into his career, gets a bag. You're like, okay,
yeah. He's not a scrub. He's not a scrub. He's not a bum. He's not a scrub. I just don't think he's what Orlando where they drafted him to be. When you draft top 5, top 7, you know, you're drafting a guy that potentially can help move your franchise forward. Cole Anthony is a role player.
He was a
good role
pick.
player, but he's a role player.
He was a 15 pick, FIFO.
15? Okay.
Yeah, and he averaged 16, 5, and 5.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 16, 5, and 5.
Very, very solid. Very solid guy.
I think he's career Ish Smith. I think he's Ish Smith, personally. Dang. And Ish Smith, and that's not that. Ish Smith be hooping, man. Ish Smith hooping for a backup. He be hooping for a backup point guard. But it's like, that's what I think Cole Anthony is. And look, he's the guy that, you know what I mean, runs the backup unit for like a playoff team. And then that one playoff series, he just goes ballistic like a Reggie Jackson. You're like, where did this come from? You know what I mean? And then he can never replicate it quite again, but it's always like he can give us 26 on any given, you know what I mean, any other month, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in terms of Wembanyama and a couple other places that Q didn't mention that we had spoke about was I think from a basketball perspective, pure basketball, nothing else. Give me San Antonio. Pop is going to be around another 20 years if Wembanyama goes to San Antonio.
Pop going to be on a Walkman, man.
You ain't lying. He going to have the motorized wheelchair.
He'll be like the girl from Atlanta, episode 1. No, for real.
So yeah, let me hit these quick super chats, and then we'll end the night with the top 3 conference teams per conference, contenders per conference. Let's see. So let's stay with basketball. Is Beal better than Edwards and Levine? This is from Drink More Water.
Is who better than Edwards and Levine?
Bradley Beal.
Better than who?
Anthony Edwards and or Zach and Zach Levine.
I don't like him better than Zach Levine. Personally, I would prefer Levine on my team over Beal. I don't think he's better than Edwards, though. I think he's better than Levine. I don't want him over Levine. So
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Because I think Levine goes nuclear any given day. He can get you 60 on any night. Actually,
Right.
he's that much of a nuclear scorer. Bradley Beal, he's like, he's a really efficient 32, 28 per game. You know what I mean?
Bradley's more consistent, and I agree with Q. Zach has more of a nuclear effect to him. Like he going off, bro. There's only like a handful of guys that that can go off hotter than him. So I like Zach LaVine more than Bradley. And I think Ant Edwards is going to be the best two guard in the league after this season. So yeah, I think nah.
Do you know what? I want people to identify as well with just basketball. Is I always want people to pay attention to body types because build and stature should allow people include people into what type of player somebody should be. And if you've been around other sports, you know what the football physique looks like. Anthony Edwards, Zion Williamson are the two most powerful athletes in the league for a reason. They have football physiques. That's not a coincidence. The amount of torque that they can generate, the amount of power and force and body control they have in air. John Morant has that too. John's like almost like a safety damn near. You know what I mean? They all have those football, foundations to their athleticism. And I think that's what's going to carry all three of these young guys. And it's going to make them for the most three exciting high flyers we've seen probably in a generation since Mike and Dominique and name somebody else.
And Drexler.
Exactly.
Yep.
Let's see. Tracy G, did Russ play himself out of the league or to the bench?
Out the league.
Which Russ?
Damn.
There's only one Russ. There's only one Russ we're talking about.
Lakers country. Let's cry. Yeah, Russ is gonna have to probably take a sabbatical and then he's gonna come back. That's probably what's gonna happen. Like Russ and basketball need a break. You know what I mean? Like when you break up with your girl for like a year, like you come back. You know what I mean? All right, that's what's gonna go happen with Russ.
All right.
Fast fall from grace.
Hall of Famer exiled from the league because he can't shoot a fucking lick. That's sad, man.
Let's get to there are a couple more basketball, three more. One just came in. The last Hornets, expectations for Cleveland this year.
Top three.
Top five.
Yeah.
Top five. Fifth seed.
Yeah. Because that's East Conference gonna be tough.
D-Mitch, it's gonna take a second, but they look nice though.
Yeah, they do, and like you say, Q, that's the only thing that's probably gonna take a little minute to get right. But once they get it together, they got everything. Cleveland is stacked.
They're deep.
And here's the thing, though, they have another move in them because they have Love, Levert, and Okoro still. They can make another move and go get somebody else.
My brother said it's stacking up. Look like LeBron want to come back there.
No, for LeBron over there, like hold up. My grandma
might be time to go home.
Yeah, grandma talking about she got some pies waiting for me at the crib. Hold up. Thanksgiving coming up.
He had another one. He says, I have high expectation for the Wolves. How about you guys?
Yep, they definitely should be top five.
I have them at the 6th seed in the West. I think the Gobert move is actually going to pay dividends towards the end of the season and in the playoffs. I don't think that it's going to make for the most fluid offense in the regular season. I think it's going to take some growing pains.
That was my thoughts. Like I said, that's my only fear. I got to see how that offense looks, intact. I really need to see it. I don't believe it on paper. I need to see it.
Yeah, I agree with Q. I think the Gobert move is for when the games start to slow down. We watch playoff basketball. Shit, how long have we been doing that in sports? For a minute now. We all watch it. NBA playoffs slow down. Every possession becomes way more important. And I think the Rudy Gobert move is primarily for the playoffs. When you look at young and up-and-coming teams, and maybe they're not up-and-coming no more, but like the Memphis Grizzlies, you got a high-flying point guard breaking everybody down and dunking over everybody. Well, now we got one of the biggest deterrents in the game, So I like it. I don't love it, but I get it as well. And Edwards is on a rookie deal. Go spend the money around him to try to elevate the team. So not a bad move, but I have high expectations.
Last basketball related question. Better in their prime, Paul Pierce or Paul George?
That's a good question.
Before injury, but before
Yeah,
injury,
yeah, prime.
Their prime.
Paul George before that injury was a whole different animal, dude.
Paul Pierce
Man,
was nice.
Paul
too,
Pierce was something else, bro.
No, Paul Pierce was clutch as hell. He was the truth. I remember that.
But
Give me Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce couldn't get to the playoffs.
Paul George had real wars with like LeBron, man.
Exactly. Paul George in his prime, he was the lead dog of that Indiana team. They were great because of him. Danny Granger in 1 year became a shell of himself.
Yep.
And Paul George took that and was like, hey, I'm the guy. And when I look at Paul Pierce's career before the big 3+ Rondo, it's like, bro, you nice and you are the truth, but it didn't equate to wins. So I'm gonna have to take PG in this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I always think about that cockback dunk he did on Birdman, and I'm like, damn, dude.
Hey, look, when LeBron dap you up for dunking on his squad in the playoffs,
like, damn.
oh, you one of them dudes.
Yeah, he's different.
Yeah.
He's different.
Damn. Okay. All right, let's do these conferences.
Top 3 contenders in each conference, East or West.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Where you want to start, Q?
We can just let's do the East. Let's do each of our third seeds in the East. Third seed. I'll start. Right. So for my third seed, I have Brooklyn.
I have Brooklyn as well.
So I'm not doing them in any order. These are just the top 3 for me.
Give me order, FIFO. We need order, FIFO.
Nah, not this one. This was a feel.
This projections, man. Come on, make a projection so we can see what we end up.
No, I feel you.
Well, I don't know if these will be the actual official predictions because I know Nick can probably put together his own.
Nick is going, man.
I know
Nick watching Daniel Jones and shit. Nick watching.
Look, not in order, but one of the contenders from the East is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks.
All right. How about you, Ken?
Cleveland.
Swing for the fences.
Damn. All right. Okay.
That reminded me I forgot D Mitch was there, bro.
That's crazy. Number 2, I got Philly. I think that we just are gonna have a different layer with PJ Tucker, Daniel House, Tyrese Maxey taking a leap. I think that our bench got way better. Guys like Niang and Shake Milton are going to be so much better because they actually have competent guys around them, like the guys I just listed. Trez Harrell's here now. You know what I mean? Finally giving Embiid a solid backup 5. Doesn't have to do too much. Really, Harrell and Paul Reed, the 2 backup bigs, got to give us, between the 2 of them, don't even got to be more than 20 minutes in the playoffs. Just spell Embiid, give him a little breather. I think that we'll be able to get to the top 2 seed probably.
Yep. I got Philly as well at 2. For a lot of those reasons you mentioned. I think James Harden going to have a better year than he did.
Oh, yeah. He's already moving way better, man. He's already showing me a mid-range. Everything I said about the hamstring, I think is going to be even more true come mid-season once he gets in complete, fully playing shape, so.
Yeah, I'm going to go Philly as well to add everything that both of y'all have said. But in addition to James Harden's body looks better.
Yeah.
He don't look pudgy now. He was never a workout warrior a la Carmelo Anthony, right? Like they don't protrude muscles, but they are strong and athletic. But I think whatever chubbiness James Harden had coming from the Houston days, getting traded to Brooklyn and then going to Philly, I think he shed that. And I think as long as he can stay healthy, everything else that both of those guys have said, but I think James Harden has a lot to prove, especially now that he left that whole Brooklyn situation and stuff. So I'm interested to see what Philly does, but I definitely think they're a contender.
I like Philly there too. It's just every year we do this,
Yep.
and it never happens. Like, but they were 2 games away from being the top seed, so it's highly possible. I mean, they won 51 games last year, made a big change in the middle, at the trade deadline. So, you know, uh, this should be the year. And my one is Giannis
Yep.
are the Bucks.
Yep.
Of course.
Same. I also have Giannis.
100%.
So that's your third team.
Yeah, that's my
All right,
third.
bet. So for me, you swung for the fences. I will
Mm.
swing for the fences, and I guess you could call me a homer now because
Here you go.
at the end of the day,
Hold
hey,
on.
look, Georgia could win championships now. Okay,
Man.
the state of Georgia, the ban has been lifted on championships. I really look.
DeJounte.
I really like the addition of DeJounte. I think he takes 0 away from Trae Young. I think he actually adds to Trae Young, and he adds a lot to that team. I think one of the first preseason games, the man almost had a triple-double in like 20 some odd minutes. So I think the level of efficiency, the defense, they're going to be a lot more pesky than what they were. And now you can't just be like, well, let's just double team Trae and get the ball out of his hand. That game plan is no longer going to work. So I like the Atlanta Hawks making a big jump this year.
So do you believe in all those other guys around him? That's the question. I question the others more than Trae and DeJounte.
Well, for me, we know what Bogey is, right? Catch and shoot 3-and-D type of guy. As long as he's healthy, he'll be fine. We know what he does, almost 40% from the 3-point line. John Collins is John Collins. He's that fringe all-star guy. Almost 20 points. He's really going to be about the 17, 18 point range, 10, 12 boards. Very solid. It's the others, the conquerors of the world. What's the Jalen? What's the
DeAndre Hunter? He's still there.
DeAndre Hunter has to take a jump this year.
Mhm.
Jalen that they drafted last year, he's a big too. He's a power forward type.
I know you're talking about, yeah.
That's his last name. But
I like that
Jalen,
team. I like that team too far. I just can't see him in top 3.
no, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
all
too
I
many
said,
mountains
I'm
to climb.
swinging. That's a swing.
Hey,
That's a swing.
we need to mark some of these swings.
Yeah,
That's a
no,
swing.
Atlanta. Coach Nate, he's still there. Yeah, his seat is gonna be
It's
hot.
warm. It's
Yeah,
warm.
man. Because I'm trying to tell you right now, management really thought they had something after they beat the Knicks and they went, they beat the Sixers. They're like, hold up. But it's like, in retrospect, maybe the Ben Simmons thing was just too, already headed to collapse. The Knicks were fraudulent, maybe too much. Julius Randle driving right, can't go left. So, man, not to discount what Atlanta took advantage of and played amazing, but maybe, Nate McMillan overshot a little bit. But we'll see. This is his chance, I think. And I do believe in him being able to correct the ship. I am saying that. I do believe in it. I just think that maybe more so, like, for me, 5 or 6 seed for them. Just because I think it takes a second for 2 guards to learn how to play the rhythm together. Like, because like for a guy like DeJounte who's had the ball in his hands for so long, coming into the league, with the pop, and Trae gonna have to play off ball more.
Yeah, but I think again, when we look at the model, which is Golden State, the reason why Steph is so dangerous is obviously he could play on ball, but when he plays off ball, the whole defense has to watch him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's what makes Atlanta, and why I said adding DeJounte takes 0 away from Trae. Yeah, he's going to play more off ball. The ball's not going to be in his hand as much, but DeJounte is more than capable. You know what I'm saying? So, and then also when Trae goes to the bench, obviously you can stagger these guys. I just think that DeJounte solves so much, but it's not everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nate McMillan still got to, prove himself to a degree. The others still got to prove themselves. DeAndre Hunter has to take that jump because think about it. They drafted 3 in 2 years. They drafted 3 guys at the position, and they just got rid of 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So the organization is saying, "Hey, we're putting our chips in you. So he has to take the jump. So again, this is a big swing for me. That I'm not guaranteeing them, but I'm very much so like them.
They say you got 7 teams in your top 3.
That was hilarious. I said
17 teams in the top 3.
Oh,
you
good
said people
Lord.
got he had 10 top 5 teams.
Good Lord. Let's go out. Let's head out to the West Coast, man. We got top 3 contenders out there. Let's start. I'll go ahead. Western Conference. My third team, Los Angeles Clippers, man.
That's a good pick. Hey, people wanted to talk shit about my John Wall take. Okay, watch. That man been healthy.
I think for me, my pushback came from more so it being in Boston as opposed to it being in the Clippers. I always thought the Clippers was a perfect fit because I always look at. I feel like I'm weird because maybe I'm the only one who imagines Kawhi and Paul George as like the grown-up versions of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but it's like I really look at them like the mature versions of like this is who they're trying to be ultimately in terms of skill set. And even though they haven't accomplished anything together on the Clippers, I still felt like John Wall fit in with those 2 grown-ass men as opposed to trying to shepherd the 2 young pups into success. Because Kawhi's had some success. PG knows what it means to be the young guy, to then also become the guy, fall off, become a guy again. John Wall has that. So there's more of a hierarchy there. Jason Tatum, John Wall, Brown, that felt like another Kyrie kind of going up in there. Just for me, at least.
Okay. Damn, the West was tough.
Yeah.
The West is tough.
I know who my number 1 is. 3. I like that Clippers pick a lot, Q. I really looked at it. But I'm gonna go with the Dallas Mavericks.
Now I'm shocked at
Why are
that.
you trying to jinx them already, bro?
Why lives matter?
Like that.
He said, "Why lives matter?"
Shocked at
See,
that.
Ye got you gassed up, King.
I'm shocked.
Kanye got me.
You can't say hold on, man. He thinking he really on to something here with these t-shirts. Hold on.
He might be on his-
hold on now. Like, all right, cool. Shit. So for my number 2, I have Denver at number 2.
Wow.
Hey, but yeah, I was gonna say, Q, you jumped ahead of me. You jumped ahead of me, Q, because I had Dallas
I know.
at 3.
Me too. I didn't even drop number 3 yet.
Oh, you ain't dropped number 3 yet? Oh, okay, shit.
Nah.
Oh man, go ahead.
I had
Denver.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's your 3?
Yeah,
That's my 3.
that's crazy.
I was torn between 3 and 2 because I have Dallas at 3, and I have Denver at 2.
How do we feel about the Christian Wood addition to Dallas?
That's why I have Dallas at 3. I like that addition. That's the first real big man that Lucas played with. When you look at it, so in saying that, and you'll be getting Tim Hardaway Jr. back, so that'll lessen that Jalen Brunson loss. That Dallas team should be a lot better.
And I actually still like their guys like Cleveland. I still think that they're gonna have to make up for the loss of Brunson. I think that's not irreplaceable, but he brought a dimension to their guard play that they don't have. And they're gonna have to find that type of guy again. Christian Wood for me as a backup center, apparently what I think Jason Kidd said he's gonna be a backup, but he didn't really like that apparently. Christian Wood, if that has not been resolved, that could be an issue. But if he does embrace the backup role, I don't see why that won't just be more of a formality. He can just come off and play more with Luka when Luka has to stagger minutes with other bench guys. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a full-on, like, you're just going to be the bench guy, Christian Wood. So I hope he doesn't look at it like that, because when he played with James Harden in Houston for those couple of games, his pick and roll numbers were astronomical. And because he's a really good pick and pop 3-point shooter. So.
So we'll be on 2?
Yeah, we're on 2. I said Denver was my number 2.
Yeah, and I did as well. I think, getting back the guys that they're getting back off injury, those two, that's like adding to, future could be all-stars.
And not even that, dude, but like Bruce Brown and KCP are both on that team now.
That KCP pickup was huge.
It's huge for them, man. Like really good defensive guy, 3-and-D, and Bruce Brown just brings like versatility to it. Like he can, like he's on some PJ. He's like a young PJ Tucker. That's like his like mold. I think that he's gonna turn into because I saw him guarding fives last year. You know what I mean? I saw him playing the small ball four and shit, like playing in the dunker spot, like craziness. So yeah, man, definitely. Who'd you have? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My number 2, the Clippers.
Damn.
Yeah. I really like what John Wall brings to that squad. I've been saying that he was healthy. I think he could have helped Boston last year if they would have made that move.
I don't know why they did.
I was calling for him and let Nick tell him, hey, John Wall, trash. Okay, mister. I can't pick teams and analyze players. It is what it is. I really like John Wall on that squad. Obviously, we know what Kawhi and PG are once they're healthy. Kawhi took his 2 years off, so he should be good now for at least one season. So if they're healthy, and I like Ty Lue, they should be on a championship push this year.
They're super deep, man. Like their entire team, from like even their G League affiliates have like talent. Where I'm like, dude, what? Like, how are they brimming just to the rim of like multiple 3-and-D guys, multiple athletes? Just jump out the gym, guy. You got guys like Brandon Boston, you know what I mean? Terrence Mann, you know what I mean? John Wall, like Reggie Jackson, like just keep going down the list. Marcus Morris. Like, dude, Nicholas Batum. Like, just name any 3-and-D guy, name any wing, name any guard. They have it on their roster. And even Zubac, who turned, and Magic Johnson gave him away for a Netflix password, dude. So it's like, come on now. Like, Clippers got it.
I'm probably holding on to. I think their run might be over, but I'm probably going to be wrong with this, but I'm holding on one more year with the Suns. I think hopefully with Ayton's contract issue resolved, if that was part of why they fell apart last year, towards the end of the year, maybe they'll be more of a tight knit again. They're making some changes to the starting lineup that they probably should have made last year. But at the same time, man, that they could have just had a 2-year thing and that was it. So we'll find out. So I'm not confident in it, but I'm gonna hold on one more year.
I mean, what could go wrong with Jay Crowder asking for a trade? And what could go wrong with DeAndre Ayton saying he hasn't spoken to Monty Williams since the Western Conference Finals? You know what I mean? Sounds like a recipe for great success. So
you're right.
Shit. All right, so we on number 1 now?
It should be unanimous.
Okay, so if it's no unanimous, then Sheldon, you start us off.
Give me the Warriors for sure.
Absolutely.
You talk about loaded.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm talking about, like you said, even the G League affiliate guys, those new guys, bringing in PBJ, Patrick Baldwin he's going to be impressive. Watch out for that guy. They got some studs on that team, and I'm talking about that they brought in like new guys to go along with these veterans. I don't think that the Draymond thing will affect them as much as people think. I think that they'll be a year better. You got a confident Wiggins. You got a healthier Klay Thompson.
Absolutely. And big Wiseman coming back.
Yeah, Wiseman's coming back, and
he looks good
quickly. Yeah,
he looks good, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! The minute that they finally have a pick and roll threat, oh my god, dude, he's going to give them everything that I think Boogie was trying to give him that like 1 year, but only give him like 25% of what he was because of the Achilles. But dude, James Wiseman adds a rim protection threat. He has a lob threat. He has a pick and roll threat. And he's showing some defensive versatility in these couple games. I think, if you're Steve Kerr, you should be very excited about. Plus Moses Moody, Kuminga, those two guys. Yeah. Kuminga's going to be the new Iguodala. It's clear that he's molding him in that lane. So I'm so super excited, man. Definitely my number one.
Yeah, Moody's going to be like the most improved player on that team.
Yeah,
Moody's going to come in and turn some heads too.
Mm-hmm.
I like that squad. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfair for them it's unfair for a team to gain as much as they did after winning the championship. Put it that way.
Ridiculous, man. And the thing is that they even lost players, but it felt like they didn't lose people who were like. I think Gary Payton will be missed a little bit, but I don't think it'll be like irreplaceable. Like, we lost Gary Payton the second. Like, come on,
right.
He's not the first. You know what I mean? The first Gary Payton. So.
Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So what about y'all? Do y'all agree with us? Warriors at 1?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, we're talking about, what is that? 4+ guys that should be getting better. Kuminga, Wiseman, Poole, and Moody.
Mm-hmm.
That should get better just naturally by progression, and we see how they cultivate talent. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Because obviously Poole played a part in their championship run. Moody really didn't. Wiseman didn't, and Kuminga was here and there. So we're talking about the same core, and let's not even. I'm not even DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo's perfect for that squad. You know, like Ken. I always refer to you. The Warriors are light years ahead, bro. But they are. They really are. The way that they've drafted, the people that they've kept, the people that they've dealt. When they've gotten rid of them, the people that they decide to bring back, they have not made any wrong decision. And that's tough to say from the top. And I think that says a lot about the coaching staff on how they're able to continue to produce and develop dudes. Like we're talking about 4 guys, Ken, that are coming back under rookie contract that on any other team will be getting max deals. That's crazy.
Moody will get a max deal?
Depending on the team, yeah. Like a team like Charlotte, like
hell no.
A team that doesn't attract free agents, they're gonna pay him to keep him.
Wiseman and Poole, maybe, but nah.
Kuminga too.
I think Poole gets a contract from like 98% of the league, dude. So it's like, yeah.
He said Ken is saying Poole and Wiseman. He's iffy on Kuminga and Moody.
Well, they're not going to get max. They're going to get paid, but not max.
Well, if you're talking about max rookie extension, then yeah. But if you're talking about max contract, that's all.
I think like a team like Utah, a team like Indiana, a team like these teams that never really get any type of free agents, they would overpay Moody if they drafted him.
I got you.
Maybe not max, but close to it.
Bro, Moody's a role player.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just depending on where he would have been drafted, they would have paid him that.
I think y'all hyping Moody.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
I gotta see it.
Be good, but yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think he's gonna be good, but it's not enough room for him to be a max consideration player.
I mean, dude, that'd be the greatest problem the Warriors ever found out if they have
right
and this dude. Oh my god, man, come on, what they fuck around trade Clay, but yeah, no, it's gonna be an incredible season for the Warriors because this is where the rare territory of seeing if greatness can tweak the little things to elevate around the edges. You know what I mean? Just because you're already operating at your highest frequency when you get to the championship, but to be able to sustain it because everyone else is trying to now reach that plateau you were at last year, just to be able to, you know what I'm saying, match you. Now you got to find your own way to level up a little bit, even in that greatness. So that's where Steph is, where it's like, how do I maneuver even past this higher vibration I'm on right now, dude? So Steph, man, the quest for 5 and 6, I think it's very much so in play these next 4 or 5 years of his career, especially with the 4 guys we just listed with Wiseman and whatnot. So this NBA season is going to be incredible.
All right, let me hit these 3 super chats and we'll call it a night. This game is now 12-7. Washington is in front off of a fumble in the red zone by a rookie Vernon Jones Jr. or something like that. Brian Robinson Jr. Scored to put them up, and now they're just trying to eat clock. And Justin Fields threw a ball that hit somebody in the hands. He just dropped it. So that's been the night for that. So not a lot going on there. But while we're on the subject of football, they said in regards to this horrible game, Tracy G said Q was right. The NFL finessed the hell out of Amazon Prime. And speaking of the Bears, this one is from Nick at Night. Where are the Bears going? Like, I don't see much hope in this team going anywhere in the next few years. Yeah, I really would like to see. I don't know, bro, but I really would like to see some receivers there to see what Fields could really, really do. Because he's been looking shaky, tonight, but it's really hard to judge, but it's like shit. Washington ain't been much better. And while Ron Rivera out there trying to call out his quarterback, I bet he should talk about his coaching. Because
Wake that up.
Bro, this shit ain't this has been horrific. He running RPOs with this dude and everything. It's just like, what are you doing? But anyway, so they just need talent, man. They need an infuse of talent, and they are going to have to draft really, really well, or yeah, it's a wrap.
I done gave the blueprint, Ken. Everybody not named Justin Fields that has talent, trade their ass. Bench Justin Fields, obviously not due to anything of his own, but just, hey, look, we feel that we got a really good quarterback, quarterback that could be us here for the future. Sit him down to restrict any type of injury. Tank this year. Obviously, you don't need a quarterback in a quarterback heavy draft. So guess what? You're going to be able to wheel and deal even more. Trey Roquan and Eddie Jacksons of the world and some of these other guys now. And in the draft, there's going to be teams that feel that maybe the quarterback that they have, a la Washington, a la maybe the Jets. I don't think they give up on Zach Wilson just yet, but you never know. It's the Jets. There's going to be teams that are going to be quarterback focused, and you'll be able to make even more deals to get guys that complement what you don't have. So the Bears need to shut it down. Put Justin Field on the bench, trade the other guys, and just get draft picks for the next 2 seasons.
Somebody had said I'm trying to find it. Said a comment that Dan Snyder got some dirt on other NFL owners.
Yeah. Yeah, he put out. Yeah.
But I'll see if I can find it. The other one that we got is from Drink More Water. Apparently, a player that played against the Hornets this preseason told a reporter that the team is trash because LaMelo Ball is trash. Thoughts?
Well, that's clearly cap because Sheldon would have told us that, and that's clearly no subterfuge, poppycock, hearsay. It's not true. Not true.
What can I say about that? I was talking to a close friend of mine about a couple players recently, and LaMelo came up, and he basically expressed to me how, as an athlete looking at LaMelo, it doesn't look like we talk about working out. He said it doesn't look like he's working out like he should. It doesn't look different from year to year right now for him. We don't see the growth and progression we talk about, in players. And so he was saying, like, it don't seem like he got that much in the summer. And I saw the same things he was saying, and I felt him on that. I don't know what it's going to take, but I want him to hit the gym. I want him to get with Chris Brinkley, one of these guys, somebody to help round that game off. Because we talk about Ann Edwards taking a step. We talk about FIFO talks about Pascal Siakam, and these guys taking steps. I need to see him take that step too. But yeah, I'm not too happy where he is. He sprained his ankle the other day, so I think he's going to miss the first couple games of the season.
First
but
couple
I'm not.
weeks.
Yeah, couple games at least. I know. So
I
probably
think he'll probably be out like 2 weeks, probably.
probably so. But yeah, I just need to see more from him. I really do.
I'm disappointed in LaMelo Ball because I'm disappointed in MJ as well. If that's even possible for me to be even more in the anyway. When it comes to Mike, the way he runs the team, it just seems very college, man. It just seems very collegiate. Like all the guys are just kids. Like he just running basically a daycare. You know what I mean? All these
He
kids
is.
you know what I mean? They all look up to Mike and that's the OG, that's Unk and whatnot. And Unk pulls up to the thing. That stuff is cool. And I'm referring to a lot of their Instagram stories and whatnot. But it's like I'm always watching them. They're laughing, having all this childish fun in practice, and that's cool. But it rarely ever looks like, from my perspective, LaMelo Ball is like lifting weights to get in shape and actually putting in the skills to become a better defender. I haven't seen LaMelo Ball play one actual lick of defense since he came into the league, and
Right.
and that's why it showed me and FIFA were preaching to you about Anthony Edwards, is because we saw from game to game getting better and adding things. And I felt like LaMelo was kind of coasting off of already having that floor that he had, that like baseline skill was already so dope that he could kind of just coast off of it. But now you got guys like Edwards who are about to take leaps into being considered by some people all NBA guys. And LaMelo Ball, I think, should be there.
Right. And I agree with you. I think it's still, he has plenty of time to turn it around. He's only 21 years old.
Yeah.
So he has time to get with it, but it's hard. It's hard to do when you're not focused. And I just want him to get focused. I want him to get focused. Like, I want to win. Forget all the mess. Forget all of the other stuff. Let me get in here and win games. That team, however, somebody asked what was that team doing. I don't know, man. I really don't know. The only thing I can think of is they're trying to tank for a better player because, outside of Gordon Hayward and Mason Plumlee.
Oh, he out. He out. They about to win this game.
Wow.
You were saying, Shelton? My bad.
No, I don't know.
If
he had scored, Ken, I would agree with you. But they've been down in this red zone before and nutted up, so I don't know. But
you said outside of Mason Plumlee.
Yeah, it's a bunch of first and second year players, man. You got a bunch of kids out there. You spoke about them being like kids. It's because they are kids. So it's just hard to it's hard to see them taking a step.
Yeah.
And yes, Stephon Curry, you're exactly right. Miles Bridges being out is a huge loss.
Yeah.
That would have the team would have a totally different outlook and feel if he had been okay this summer. But here we are. So we'll see.
Lord.
These fools about to lose this game.
Hey, do y'all give Justin Fields any kind of pass?
I do.
Yeah. Big pass.
I think he's looked as good as you can expect any QB to look behind this line, dude. Like what?
I agree. I agree with y'all wholeheartedly, but I see a lot of people saying like Fields is trash. I see it so often. I'm like, why don't people realize what he has to work with? I don't understand.
You truly can't evaluate Justin Fields right now. Like it's not fair on him. Like who's he throwing to?
But right now they about to be 500. 3-3.
I don't know, King, man.
1-5.
I just don't have no faith in them getting in the end zone. They've been down there 3 times. It was on the 1 yard line, couldn't get it in.
Bro, all that RPO with Fields.
Is Ron Rivera gonna be the second coach fired?
Oh, he tried to call timeout on that too.
Shit,
they didn't give it to him. I don't know, man. So what I don't know is, was it his idea to bring Wentz there? Because I think that's what got that helped Matt Rule get out of there quicker because he brought in all these quarterbacks that didn't work.
Yeah, man. To be honest with you, go ahead, Ken.
No, go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say, to be honest with you, there's no telling in Washington. Daniel Snyder, there's no telling what he's doing. So to say he'll be fired, you really can't say. Because is he paying attention to the record, score, or any of this stuff? Or is he trying to, take down the other owners? What is his mission?
Being messy.
Right. So I don't know if he's thinking about firing Ron Rivera or what he's thinking about. There's no telling with him.
Well, 2 more down, Shelton. So we'll see what happens.
I want him to. I want Justin Fields to get away. Them being 3-3 speaks volumes for him.
Yeah, I want him to win this game too.
Yeah.
Oh, why are you? There it is. Oh, he dropped it. Ah.
Wow.
Oh, man.
And that's the one guy he's been able to rely on tonight.
Yeah, I think the guy rolled up on his leg. Oh, man. That was – damn, Shelton, that might have been it, bro. He just couldn't hold it. That might have been it. He got folded a bit.
That's pass interference. How could you not call that?
Oh,
Did
that
you see
is.
it?
Yeah, that should. That looks like it.
Like he got his arm the whole way.
And that definitely impacted it. Wow.
How could they not call that? Oh, my gosh.
Well, this is it, Shelton. Okay, so here's my thing, right? Why haven't they ran at least one RPO, something to get Fields like moving? The guy fast as shit. So call something to get him running, but they call all these pass plays, and I know, and with these guys, come on, man.
Yeah, that first play he had Montgomery open, but he couldn't see him because he was on his backside. I saw him back there, but
or maybe the second one, but if you see they ain't been doing shit in the red zone, they should see they ain't been doing shit in the red zone. Try it up, but this is it. This game. Still throwing it. There it is. Oh, he didn't get in. No, he hit the pylon.
That's a touchdown.
That should be 6, bro.
That's a touchdown. That's gonna be a touchdown.
Call it and just review it. Don't make the call here. Just review it.
It's definitely gonna be reviewed.
Why is he touching the referees? Wow.
They got to review that.
Oh, he bobbled the ball. And when he got it, oh, wow. That's 2 drop touchdowns, bro.
Oh, man, no touchdown.
Nope.
What a play. How are they dropping these balls, man? These guys, it was a hell of a catch, but how are you not – like, what's wrong with their hands?
Hang in there, bro. Hang in there. I wasn't a fan of those calls, but damn.
This is another one of those wins by default. Like Washington did not deserve to win this game whatsoever.
Wow, just you catch it at the apex, and then it's just you didn't have to do much. Just fall in the end zone. That's it. That's it. Well, damn. They should have won that game, bro.
Justin Fields did everything you could possibly do to win this game. They should have won.
I still think just run, call something, some type of RPO to have him get out in space. On second down, at least, like you said, he missed the guy on the first one. But second down, at least try to see what happens. But
then Ken, I really don't blame him for missing it because he was on his backside and it took him so long to get open. He was scrambling by that point. So at that point, he was running for his life, like he is on 90% of the plays. So I can't blame him for that. But this game, which game was worse to y'all? This game or the one last week?
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we overtime, man. At least we got something exciting at the end, huh? We did a whole basketball show and like 2 minutes of excitement. So 12-7. All right, man. Well, we'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace. We appreciate you guys coming through, kicking with us, man. Come through Tuesday at 9 p.m. We'll get Knicks players and move on, man, and recap the NFL. So yeah, man. We out. Peace.
Hey.